Hello everyone and welcome to my B&B 724 YouTube channel. Please hit the subscribe button and give this video thumbs up. Nick gets fired by Ridge, and Luna contacts Hayes. Why are you here, in LA? Ridge asks Nick at Forrester, expressing his amazement at seeing him. The sunshine in California was calling, according to Nick. According to Brooke, they were catching up and discussing Jack's accomplishments at Forrester International. According to Nick, he is more like his mother. He congratulates Ridge on regaining his business and his relationship with Taylor. That's amazing. You two must be ecstatic. Nick is certain that a wedding is imminent. Ridge asks again why he's there and growls about him being so preoccupied with his love life. What are you looking for? Or should I inquire at all? Ridge B&B. Nick keeps sidestepping Ridge's query and returns the focus to Taylor. If he has a wife or girlfriend to return to, Ridge inquires. Not right now. Nick has always been destined for life at sea, and he looks at Brooke. However, Ridge, you are aware of fate, aren't you? Nick B&B. Ridge informs Marone that Brooke and he must return to their jobs. After giving Brooke a hand kiss, Nick walks away. Irritated, Ridge shuts the door. Brooke maintains that she was unaware of his arrival. He is a gentleman and a nice buddy. This is laughed at by Ridge. He has no cause for jealousy, Brooke tells him. Ridge says that she should avoid Nick since he is a bad person. Brooke appears considerate. Taylor arrives. Steffi informs Taylor at the Cliff home that the children are having a great time at the beach house. They express gratitude for Electra's assistance with the children and for Liam. According to Steffi, Hayes and Kelly adore her. Electra is picking Hayes up today. She is glad the children are at last in a secure environment. With everything going on, Taylor asks Steffi how she's doing. Steffi claims that what's occurring with Liam doesn't even feel real. She alternates between being furious and depressed. Kelly is losing her father, a person who holds great significance in her life. This shouldn't be taking place. Meanwhile, Liam is considering how to protect them. From Luna, says Taylor, nodding. B&B Steffi Taylor. They discuss how draining it is to always watch over their shoulders because of Luna. Steffi wants Liam to choose his girls before himself. They claim that Finn is not at fault and that he owes Luna nothing. According to Taylor, he feels somewhat accountable. Steffi finds her obsession with her spouse intolerable. For the sake of her family, she must be strong. More pictures of life. The son of Tanner Novlin. Taylor is aware that Liam is worried about her. Steffi claims that he is facing his own death and that it is unfair. However, they are unsure of Luna's next attack date. Taylor is concerned about the negative effects of the stress. When Hayes got home, Luna was there, and Steffi can't stop thinking about it. She was almost immobilized by the dread. She will ensure that Hayes never discovers her identity. B&B Steffi Taylor. Hayes is approached by Luna. Luna observes the teacher interacting with the kids outside the beach school. Hayes lingers to retrieve something he forgot as the teacher ushers them inside. Luna approaches stealthily and says, "Hey, you mean Hayes?" She tells him she has something for him, and he responds, "Yep." Want to find out what it is? Luna B&B. An origami that Luna made for Hayes is given to him. He is called back inside by the teacher. "It was good to see you, Hayes," Luna says. Luna's face takes on a menacing look as the boy enters. More, B&B just revealed to us who will thwart Luna's scheme. Hayes shows his teacher the origami inside the classroom and tells her that a kind woman gave it to him. The teacher gushes over it while Luna lurks outside. She soon declares that the day is over, and Electra shows up to get Steffi's son. While Luna fumes in the bushes, Hayes shows her the origami. Electra Hayes B&B. The infiltration of Luna. Hayes is prompted by Electra to show Taylor and Steffi his art piece at the Cliff House. He takes the origami out. They talk excitedly about the crane, and Hayes says he got it from a kind woman. He can't wait for the teacher to demonstrate how to make their own. Steffi praises Electra for her assistance as he flees. Making a connection with the children makes the young lady very happy. Although she must ensure their safety from Luna and Sheila, Steffi admits that she wants them to lead regular lives. Her major objective is to keep them as far away from anyone or anything that could harm them as possible. Steffi Hayes B&B. When Luna approaches the teacher at the beach school, she reveals that she is the gifted individual who gave Hayes the origami. She extends an invitation for her to return as a guest artist. When they enter, the instructor tells them that the room was provided to them. She inquires as to whether Luna would be interested in working with the children. The teacher asks Luna for her name when she gives in to persuasion. Luna adds, "I'm Sunshine." Luna smiles to herself as the instructor becomes thrilled to tell the children. Luna poses as Hayes' new instructor, Sunshine the origami artist. Following his time on the beach with the other children, Hayes Finnegan was contacted by Luna Nozawa, according to the bold and the beautiful recap for Wednesday, June 18th. Luna gave Hayes an origami crane as a gift in a private time. Inside the beach home, where the art program was still in progress, Hayes was ecstatic and promptly showed it to all of his pals. Ms. Dillon played up the idea of having the entire class perform origami soon after Hayes informed her that a kind woman had given him the crane. On Wednesday's B&B episode, Electra Forrester arrived to collect Hayes when it was time for him to depart. Luna was obviously unhappy with the encounter since she glared at the adjacent Electra and Hayes. Steffi Forrester confided in Taylor Hayes at the Cliff House about Liam Spencer's selflessness and the range of difficult feelings she was experiencing due to his impending death. Luna and the fact that she had only met Hayes a few times were also discussed. Steffi vowed that her son would never know who Luna was since she didn't think Hayes would remember her. Hayes had the opportunity to display his origami crane and reiterate that a kind woman had given it to him when Electra finally brought him home from his art session. Since Steffi, Taylor, and Electra thought it was just someone strolling along the beach, they didn't take it seriously. She was confirmed to be the one who handed Hayes the crane by Ms. Dillon when she saw Luna outside the beach house with additional origami. Luna was obviously skilled at this, so Ms. Dillon invited her to assist in teaching the class and serve as a guest artist. In the end, Luna consented and identified herself as Sunshine. Nick Marone was questioned by Rich Forrester at Forrester Creations about his motivation for returning to Los Angeles. Nick suggested that congratulations were in order, acting as though he was combining business and pleasure. When Ridge asked Nick what he meant, he clarified that Ridge was back with Taylor and that the issues surrounding the takeover had been addressed. Nick's obsession with his love life annoyed Ridge, who questioned whether Nick had a romantic partner of his own to return to. Nick claimed he didn't at the moment, but he appeared hopeful as he looked towards Brooke Logan. Nick remarked that his destiny had always been to live at sea and poked fun at Ridge, who was also well aware of destiny. Nick kissed Brooke's hand before leaving after Ridge urged him to do so they could work. Brooke toned down her relationship with Nick and pretended that jealousy wasn't necessary. Nevertheless, Ridge complained that Nick was a bad person and advised Brooke to avoid him. Ultimately, Brooke had a playful twinkle in her eye, as if she believed that her outburst of jealousy would benefit her relationship with Ridge. According to spoilers on The Bold and the Beautiful, Ridge's romantic future will be complicated. Even the golden sun shining through the office windows couldn't overshadow the intensity radiating between Ridge Forrester and Nick Marone, yet the tension within Forrester Creations was as thick as the California heat outside. As Nick settled in as though he still had a stake in the business, Weiss, in Ridge's life, Ridge's eyebrows narrowed. "Why are you in Los Angeles?" Ridge's patience was growing thin as he demanded in a harsh tone. Nick only grinned, cocky as ever and constantly posing as a sailor who has experienced too many storms to be alarmed by another. He said, the sunshine was calling, as though he hadn't just entered a lion's den cloaked with old ghosts and conceit. A living reminder of their tumultuous history, Brooke stood between them, her stiff posture and kitey smile avoiding the obverse. She clarified, possibly too quickly, that she and Nick were just catching up and remembering Jack's achievements at Forrester International abroad. Ridge, however, was not buying it, not for a moment. With a mocking sense of sincerity, Nick turned back to Ridge and congratulated him on getting back his company and making amends with Taylor. "That's amazing," he remarked. Ridge could clearly hear the thinly veiled criticism, "You two must be over the moon." Ridge's mouth twitched as Nick hinted at an impending wedding. "What are you looking for?" Ridge yelled, obviously out of manners. "Or should I inquire at all?" However, Nick sidestepped the questions Ridge was trying desperately to pin him down with by manipulating the conversation like a cat and a mouse and turning the focus back to Taylor. Ridge put further pressure on Nick, asking whether he had a girlfriend or wife waiting for him. Nick looked at Brooke without skipping a beat. His eyes lingered as he said, "Not right now. My destiny has always been to live at sea." "However, Ridge, you are aware of fate, aren't you?" Ridge snapped. With Brooke close by, the word destiny had weight in this room. At one point, Ridge had also trusted in fate, but now his faith was shaky. He told Nick that he and Brooke had business to do, so he dismissed him. After giving Brooke a dramatic kiss on the hand, Nick left, leaving Ridge furiously glaring after him. Brooke made an effort to tell Ridge that Nick was merely a friend, a gentleman, and that she was unaware of his arrival. Ridge, however, scoffed, obviously recalling too vividly the disaster Nick had previously left behind. "He isn't a decent person," Ridge snarled. "Avoid him." Brooke appeared considerate but not totally obedient. Taylor Hayes, meantime, listened carefully as her daughter Steffi opened up at the Cliff home. The two women were bound together by their common struggles and the unwavering worry that Luna Nozawa would again pose a threat to all they valued. Steffi made an effort to concentrate on the positive. Electra had been a blessing, helping to control their chaotic environment. Kelly and Hayes had sand in their shoes and sunshine on their cheeks. The kids adored the beach house. However, beneath the calm exterior, Steffi's heart was a maze of grief and terror. She acknowledged that Liam's illness felt like a harsh, unreal nightmare, with sadness shattering her one moment and anger the next. With tears in her eyes, she muttered, "This shouldn't be happening." Her father would be lost by her daughter. Even in his last months, Liam continued to strive to keep them all safe from Luna. Taylor gave a knowing nod. They both concurred that Luna's fixation on Finn had gotten out of control. The stress of constantly watching over their shoulders was too much to bear. With a hint of resentment in her voice, Steffi whispered, "He doesn't owe her anything. She must stop." However, jealousy wasn't the only factor. It has to do with safety. Steffi was still troubled by the fact that Hayes had once been in the same room as Luna. She would stop at nothing to guarantee that her kid would never recall Luna's name, much less her face. However, Destiny had other ideas. While laughter reverberated and the sun played hide-and-seek behind the pom-poms at the beach school, Luna skulked just outside the perimeter, her gaze fixed on Hayes, the youngster she had once been close to. Hayes had stayed, naive and inquisitive, searching for a misplaced object after the instructor had led the children inside. Luna took the initiative at that point. "Hello," she said, creeping up with the ghost of a smile. "You mean Hayes?" Unfazed, he nodded. She lowered herself to his level and presented him with a little paper crane, a gift of origami, folded with ominous patience. "Want to find out what it is?" she inquired. Fascinated, Hayes accepted it. He scrambled away, holding onto the fragile crane, as the teacher's voice called him inside. Luna called after him, her voice gentle but her face everything but kind. "It was nice to see you, Hayes." When Hayes brought the crane inside, his teacher was astounded by its beauty. When Electra came to take the boy home, Luna was motionless and furious, watching from the shadows. She had only just started her plan. Upon returning to the Cliff House, Hayes excitedly showed Taylor and Steffi the crane, and they commended his work of art. He chirped, "I got it from a nice lady." Taylor and Steffi grinned at each other, thinking it was a friendly local or visitor, simply another memory from a beach day. Nothing didn't seem to belong. However, it was all. Because the truth, danger concealed in exquisite folds, flitted just out of sight while they marveled at paper wings. Luna's next move came later, back at the school. The teacher recognized her as the enigmatic artist behind the crane as soon as she walked up to him. The teacher was so impressed that she was asked to come back as a guest teacher. After a moment of hesitation, Luna changed her appearance and grinned. She introduced herself as Sunshine. The instructor smiled. It would excite Hayes, and the other children would, too. Now that she had gained front-row access to Hayes' universe, Luna, now Sunshine, gave herself a smile. The drama at Forrester Creations boiled over as this new infiltration took hold. Wearing cologne, Ridge, still anxious from his encounter with Nick, couldn't get rid of the notion that trouble was back in town. Ridge was aware that Nick's visit was not a coincidence. Ridge could sense the thing he desired approaching like a storm on the horizon. While Brooke attempted to minimize everything, Ridge saw the warmth, familiarity, and nostalgia in the way she had gazed at Nick. Ridge cautioned her once more. "Logan, he's not good." Brooke nodded thoughtfully, but there was something inscrutable in her eyes, possibly mischief, uncertainty, or desire she hadn't fully let go of. Ridge saw it, whatever it was, and it made him uneasy. Because, after having fought for his future with Brooke for years, Ridge suddenly found himself at a crossroads, afraid of losing ground and suspicious of the past happening again. What about Nick? He wasn't only thinking back. He had a plan. It was palpable in Ridge's bones. Meanwhile, Steffi's darkest nightmares were steadily materializing. Luna had already started to integrate herself into Hayes' orbit, even if she was not yet aware of it. And Hayes was thrilled to see Sunshine at his art program the next time. He was just another naive youngster captivated by the power of imagination. However, Luna had far from benign motives. A lady on the verge, lonely, unstable, and longing for a relationship with a child she felt was rightly hers to know, was hidden beneath every smile and every fold of paper. It was unclear whether the belief was the result of hallucination, warped longing, or something more sinister. Happily oblivious, Electra kept her relationship with Hayes and Kelly strong, enjoying her new role in the Forrester family and being happy to be assisting Steffi. She considered herself to be a friend, a carer, and a protector. However, she was also blind to Luna's looming shadow. Now sitting on a table at the Cliff home, Hayes' crane served as both a warning and a symbol of innocence. Steffi looked at it a couple more times, disturbed by a slight uneasiness that she couldn't quite identify. Her maternal instincts, which had warned her that Luna was still there but had simply been disguised, were returning. That she was holding out for the ideal opportunity to attack. She was also correct. Because Sunshine, no, Luna, was now welcome within the system, inside the gates. Nick had been ejected from his office by Ridge, but Luna had gotten past the protection of a whole family. And while Taylor tried to calm everyone but remained awake with anxiety, Luna watched and waited, while Ridge paced about Forrester Creations, wondering whether Brooke would betray him once more, and Steffi gave Hayes a tight, protecting grin as she bid him goodbye. The origami was only the first step. Paper wings would soon, very soon, give way to something far more terrifying. Steffi hurried to confront her longtime nanny, Amelia, who stumbled through an incoherent explanation. Luna graciously volunteered to take Hayes for the afternoon when she feigned to be ill and texted her for assistance. However, why hadn't Amelia told Steffi? Why hadn't Luna? Steffi felt his blood boil. She then discovered another picture, this time on social media, concealed in a friend's tagged image of a local event, as though the world were mocking her. Luna was kneeling behind Hayes in the backdrop, holding a balloon and grinning at him, clutching his toy elephant as if it were the only familiar object amid a sea of strangers. Hayes appeared perplexed, almost uncertain. It was like a kick to Steffi's stomach. That night, Steffi sat by herself in the living room, staring at the fireplace, the flickering light creating long shadows on the walls. Her kid had been out in the world with someone she didn't trust, someone who may be dangerous, and she hadn't even realized it. Hayes was sleeping upstairs while Finn worked late at the hospital. She held the picture tightly, as if it were a weapon. It was, in many respects. Her feeling of power had been destroyed by this one picture, which also revealed her greatest fear, that she wasn't doing enough to safeguard her family. Sensing that something was off, Taylor dropped by, and Steffi eventually opened up. The floods began to flow. She informed her mother about the picture, her anxieties, and the occasion she disregarded her own intuition in order to prevent confrontation, all while sobbing uncontrollably. As she listened, Taylor's face became white. "You were aware," she muttered. "You have been aware for months." Steffi gave a slow nod. "And I did nothing."